run is just one part of what athletes do. Obviously, it's important to run, but it's also important to recover, because that's when the adaptation happens. So what we're just going to try and do today is get just a bit of insight from these guys about what they get up to, some top tips or whatever, and we'll just see how it goes, yeah? Where will we start? Who wants to start? Grice. Grice. Right, so what do you think of when you think about recovery? What are the key things that you think about?
So I think the recovery starts as soon as you finish your session. For me, like, I try and get in like a protein shake, because I think as soon as I finish like a hard training session, they say like get something in within half an hour. You've got a 30-minute window to like start the recovery. So I think starting off with that, obviously hydrating through the session. If it's a hard session, it might have like a gel or something like that as well.
Yeah.
So just a few things that you got to figure out what works for you.
Yes, we do pretty intense track sessions. To get similar to Charlie, I usually quite often make my own smoothie. So I kind of like usually like milk, yogurt, banana, a bit of honey. So you're covering your carbs, and you've got that dairy in there as well.
Yeah.
So to have that kind of straight afterwards. Sometimes even a little bit before my cool down. So have a little swig, do like a 10-15 minute cool down, jog, finish the recovery smoothie, and then we usually ice a lot of the time as well. So I would do like a 10-minute ice bath. Quite often just a bucket to my knee. So I have my own bucket that I like see carting around everywhere. So I think people are thinking, what am I doing? Like having this big Asda like bucket is with me all the time. But just fill it full of ice, sit in that for 10 minutes. And they usually get physio treatment afterwards as well. So that's in the form of like a sports massage. So that can take about an hour.
Yeah.
And that's to flush the legs out, any tightness, in the calves and the hamstrings, look at the back. And then I run the next morning.
So if you went out for a run the next morning, just to give these guys a bit of context, what sort of pace are you going at for your morning run?
So I usually sub-6, more or less sub-6 minute miles all year. In the summer I've been running a little bit faster, sometimes dipping into the 5:30s, 5:40s. So but I kind of run to how I feel.
Yep.
So I mean, an easy run in the summer might be faster than a hard run in the winter. I just kind of run to how I feel. Yeah.
So straight after the race, like I try and get my protein shake in as soon as I possibly can. We're waiting in the media zone with our milkshakes, so that we just got them like really soon after we raced. And then straight after that, I did my cool down jog. Finished the rest of my milkshake after that, and then they took us to like physio, so that we just get like a flush for our legs. And then when we got back to the hotel, I did like a contrast shower. So like obviously I got in first, had my dinner to get all like the fuel back in my body, and then when I went to my room, we did like a minute on cold, a minute on warm, a minute on cold, a minute on warm, like 3 times, and it just like helps flush the lactic out, so that like you feel ready the next day to like go again.
Yeah.
And I think that helps a lot. I also like use Normatex. They're just like a compression, you put them on your legs and they like compress like with air, and it just like flushes them out as well, so I use them a lot.
Sleep's massive. I mean, sometimes after a big session, depending on how much coffee you've drunk and how late the session is, you might not sleep too great. So for me, if I've ended up going to bed, say quite late, I've not been able to get to sleep until like say 1 o'clock, I make sure I definitely have a lie-in. But usually if I've got a session in the morning, I'll usually after the session, once I've got all the recovery stuff done, I'll have a nice long 2-hour nap, sometimes out of 2 hours, just to make sure that if I don't sleep too well in the evening, that I have got a bit of a backup. And then usually after the nap, I usually focus on just getting a bit of easy jogging, 3 miles in the evening, just before dinner, get my dinner in, and then usually once the dinner's done, I'll kind of wind it down and start getting ready to sleep really, because I think sleep's a massive, massive important part of actually recovery. You want to, I think they say the hours before 12 o'clock you practically can double, so always try and get to sleep at 10:30, 11, just to really get some good sleep in, but it doesn't always work to plan.
It doesn't always work that way.
I wish it did.
Yeah, because one of the things that a lot of athletes take caffeine when they race. If they race in the evening, then they struggle to get to sleep afterwards. I think that's what Carol's...
Especially racing as well, because like if you take caffeine and you race at like 10 o'clock, but sometimes you have drug testing, you end up like getting back to the hotel at 1 o'clock, and you don't sleep until like 5 AM, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And you wake up just feeling horrible in the morning. So sleep's a big part of it.
So Charlie, when you're here in St Moritz, do you sleep in
Yeah, attitude, like
Yeah.
always
That's
like
a
an
lot.
hour, yeah. That's one of my many talents. Sleep wherever. But
Yeah.
I feel like people back to recovery thing, like getting like 8 hours a night is so important. I know I've seen studies posted on Twitter and stuff. If you get less than like 8, then you're like twice as likely to get injured and stuff. And people want to spend all this money on all the gadgets and stuff, but they almost forget this important. Yeah, like the other day down in Italy, I finished my session. I actually ran out of like protein powder, so I just bought like a pint of milk and I just got that down.
Yeah.
I think people like back to basics, like protein and sleep.
Yeah.
We use it a lot, and sometimes camps we'll, you know, if you're in a hard training block, we'll take our heart rate and stuff in the morning. We have like a little finger thing as soon as you wake up, so you can kind of tell how your vitals are doing. So if your heart rate's a lot higher than it usually is, you know, just to take the run a lot easier. There's no point smashing it out because then you're going to be like really struggling a couple of days after. So I know that I check my vitals most mornings if I'm training really hard, just to make sure if, you know, sometimes you can get ill as well, so it's a good way of like monitoring how hard to go in the morning on a morning run or something. So I use it quite a lot.
Cool. And
I wear a heart rate monitor all the time for every session, every run. And when we come to altitude, we run to heart rate for the first few days. So because I've got so much data now over the years, we kind of know what my heart rate is at sea level when I do a run. So when I come here, I just have an alert on my watch, and that tells me like if I get to a max heart rate, just to slow down a bit. So I know the effort's the same as it would be at sea level, but like you're not pushing it. So it'll be slower, but the heart rate will be the same. So it just means you don't push too hard. Yeah, I mean, like when I first put them on, I was like so surprised because it feels so different to anything I've like ever had before. I think just it feels like it's almost massaging your foot on the bottom with like, all the different kind of the pedally feeling. And then I just think it's really striking as well in terms of the colour and the beats and things as well.
what about you, Ellie?
Yeah, I just literally put them on like random.
You just put them on
yeah,
now,
just
yeah.
for the first time, and I feel like I don't know. Thinking about it, like it makes you run on like the balls of your feet. I'd say because I can feel like more emphasis like on this area, which is where you're meant to plant your foot. So I guess.
Putting you under pressure,
Yeah.
really, haven't it? You guys had them on for longer. You have.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, they're cool. I personally probably wouldn't run in them that much because I prefer it's more structured shoe, but for jogging around, like I think they're really good. Yeah.
Kyle?
I haven't tried them too much, but I definitely think for a recovery run in the evening, if you're going to be going slower, like Ellie said, it makes you run on the ball of your feet. You don't really want to be running on your toes too much if you're trying to recover, so it kind of keeps you probably running a bit more softer, I guess. So I think it probably help you recover a little bit more, especially in the calves, because I'm one to try and hit around a bit too quick sometimes. I'm really on my toes, and sometimes can have sore calves.
Everyone does it different. That's the thing. So if you went along the line, you would get a different response.
Okay.
But I think the general thing would be run to feel or run to heart rate, or run to pace. So if you know that you normally go out and run 9-minute miling and you want to go 9:30 to go easy, then that would seem sensible. But Laura, do you want to?
I think heart rate's a good one to go. I guess in that sense you've got to have the data beforehand to know roughly what your average heart rate is anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite good, I think, if you're running different places, because if you hit a hill, your heart rate's going to spike up. So you might be running slower, but if you hit a hill, you're going to be working harder. So cause it infuriates me so much when I'm running, and if I hit a hill, it'll be beeping at me, and I'll like literally walk to try and get the heart rate down to normal. So I think that's quite good, because then you're taking out the variability of your course as well. So.
But you, Kyle, how do you manage it?
I mean, me and Grice before we do a lot of like easy running in the evening after like a big day of training, and we kind of just go on feel. We plod pretty much some of it. We like literally we just go on feel. We go as slow as we feel like we need to go. If Charlie wants to go a bit faster, he can go faster. If I want to go faster, Charlie will let me go. So it's literally just on how your body's feeling. Just literally, it's just
Time
as
on
slow
the
as
feet
you
kind
want.
of,
Yeah.
because on our session days we have gym as well, so it's a big day. We have the session, then gym at say 3 o'clock, and then like a little trot, 20-30 minutes.
And
or
it just
something.
helps get the lactic out. The little trot in the evening just helps getting your legs moving, because otherwise you stiffen up and you're going to feel terrible the day after. So it's good to get a little
For those
easy
who've been
jog.
to Kenya, we call it the Kenyan shuffle.
Yeah,
Because that's if you go to Kenya, that's what they do.
just shuffle
They
along.
just shuffle along. It's quite good.
I say stretch. I'm meant to stretch after my sessions, but I always forget. And I'm like, oh, I didn't do it again. It's too late, so I'm just like, I'll do it next session.
I think I'd probably say sleep. I get a good sleep in the evening, but I never really nap during the day unless I'm like ill or something. So it'd be good to be able to nap. I think I'm just used to being so busy. I find it hard to switch off. So I think I should try and nap if I can, but I've never been able to. But it'd be good if I could. So.
I'd say sleep as well. I'm rarely in bed like before 11, so I think that's why I kind of nap in the day. I'm a midnight muncher as well. Especially on
I'm
training
doing that
camp,
as well.
I'll be like walking down the stairs. Like,
I'm an all-day muncher. I'm just always looking for food. I think I would say probably on the same sleep-wise. I go through stages. Like I can be really on it. Like I'll be in bed by 10:30, and then I'll be sleeping like an hour to 2 hours in a day. But you know that only lasts about 2 weeks before I go back to going to bed quite late again. So I just go through stages really. But definitely sleep's a big one. I wish I could go to bed a bit earlier.
I find like a cold shower before bed is pretty good, just to cool yourself off. Like going on night mode on your phone, and I'd say like the blue light's really bad, just things like that. I think.
Ellie's got some glasses she wears. They block out the blue light.
And they like block out the blue light, and then like everyone's like, oh, do you need glasses? I'm like, no, I just have them.
You look like Elton John.
So yeah, that's my little tip. You know, get yourself some blue light goggles. You'll be awake.
I'm not allowed to wear them because she says my head's too big, so
Yeah,
unfortunately I
that's
don't get the blue light goggles. So.
Yeah, I tend to get like a blood test every few months just to check. There's been times when athletes just take a load of supplements and then you like, overdose and stuff. So I think I just take like a multivit, probiotic, fish oils, just general stuff like that, to be honest. But it's good to get it in your diet as well.
Naturally.
Yeah. And obviously everything has to be in form sport as well, because no point taking risks.
I think we have a big push for people eating real food. So you know, things like protein shakes are convenient after a workout.
I'd say long run. I find it so boring. I just like, I don't know, because it's so long. It's like, I'm like thinking in my head, oh, I've still got like 5 more miles, and I'm like halfway through and I'm like, oh. But after it's done, I'm like, oh, I've done it, I feel so good. So I just get through it really. Like I just try and take out each mile as it comes and try not to look at the miles too much, because when you look, then it just goes slower. So I just try to zone out a bit. But yeah, that's probably the one I don't like the most.
I think all our sessions are pretty nasty. So my trick was, I remember when I first moved to getting coached by Andy, I don't know what the session is until I put my spikes on, because we train in the evening. So we do our sessions in the evening. So if I knew what the session was, I'd have all day to think about it. So I'm like, I don't want to know about it until literally 2 minutes before I start, and then I just go and don't have to think about it. So that's my strategy, and it's worked pretty well. So I just go for it.
But you know it's going to be hard.
Oh, it's always nasty. It's just which one of the nasty ones it's going to be. Is it nasty fast, nasty long, nasty like intense, nasty speed stuff? It's just like,
Mine's all about how I'm feeling in the morning. If I wake up and it's raining and I've not had a good night's sleep, I'm not feeling anything. I just don't even want to
You
run.
just want to show up.
Yeah, I just plod around and just get it done. Sometimes I end up having a really good session, but
I'd say like for me like a tempo run, but having like training partners there and stuff, you're all just suffering in it together. So I think that helps, just having the camaraderie.
That's a thing I was talking about yesterday with the training camps, that you've generally always got somebody to run with, and that's a huge part, because I think distance running can be quite lonely if you are by yourself all the time. So you all help each other.
just watching a watch by yourself,
Yeah.
watching it tick down, and it doesn't get any faster, it doesn't go any faster.